How's it going, everybody? My name is Absoulem, and welcome back. This is lucky number 13 of my full platinum walkthrough for Hollow Knight. Now, we are at the stage of the game where things have gotten very frustrating and a lot more difficult, but, I've spent the last few days prepping and planning and practicing the final sections of this game, and I believe I've finally found the way to make it a little bit easier for everybody, so I'm excited to show you guys that. And yeah, I've got it down to where there's 5 more chapters. Today's chapter is going to be wrapping up the base game, getting the first normal ending, and then heading into the White Palace, where if you know, you know. So it's going to be a fun chapter, but definitely let's just take it one step at a time, shall we? So anyways, before we load up our save file, you know the drill. It's time for our foreshadowing quote, which is, "The still waters of a lake reflect the beauty around it. When the mind is still, the beauty of the self is seen reflected in it." Gosh, I hope we don't kill our friend at the lake. Anyways, let's load up our save file and I'll see you guys in game. Hello everybody, I am here at the bench in Queen's Garden where we left off, so we are going to be picking up. Here's a quick look at the loadout that I'm running in case you are curious. It's what we had in the last chapter, but before we get started on the Queen's Garden path, I wanted to pop over to Green Path because there's actually a in-game event that we can get done now. If you're on PC or Steam or whatever, this would be a trophy called Happy Couple. If you're on console, then this won't be a trophy, but it's still something you probably want to see. This is only a possible... Oh, make sure you rested this bench, by the way, because we're going to save and quit to that bench. But this is only possible if you had spared the nailsmith's life. The guy that upgrades our nail. If you had killed him, then you won't get this in-game event. If you spared his life like you were supposed to, like a good person, then you'll have the option to do this. And the only requirements are that you spare him and that you acquire the Cyclone nail art, which we have done. And once both of those are fulfilled, you can head over to the Shio nail, Paintmaster Shio's house, and he will be there with him, and you'll get some cool lore and basically get the Happy Couple trophy, I suppose. And so, if you're on console, it's just something cool to see, just for the completion's sake. If you are on PC, it is a trophy. Now, if you kill them, it's not going to affect the game or anything. It's just like you're an asshole, is really all that it is. But like, it's not going to ruin your platinum or anything. Well, I suppose if you're on Steam, you'd probably want to get that trophy. But I think on Steam, you have to get both trophies. You have to kill him and also spare his life. So you'll have to do either or, just in different playthroughs. But anyways, come up here. You can get that. Do not rest that bench because we do want to be able to save and quit to the one at the beginning. And then you'll find these guys up in here and just exhaust both of their dialogues and you would get the trophy. If not, just enjoy their dialogue. They can be doing different things in here. Sometimes they're crafting statues, I think, of the 5 Hollow Nest champions or whatever the fuck. They're doing something. They're making art. They're either there, or sometimes he'll be drawing him or painting him in like a weird pose, like the Titanic movie. It just, it doesn't matter. Just talk to all of them. All right, his dialogue's done. Now, the community, I think, is tossing up between these guys are dating or they're like long-lost friends now. But the trophy being called Happy Couple is, I think, what throws people off. I personally take the lore as like they're more like content with like each other's presence. I don't think they're like dating. I think they're more like friends that are like both hermits. They both have fulfilled their purpose and now they just want to make art. That's how I take it. But you choose to believe whatever narrative you want. But either way, that is the Happy Couple lore. And that completes Paintmaster Shio and the Nailsmith's whole storyline. And now the other 2 brothers will be fighting off and getting more lore in the pantheons. So that will come later. So anyways, load back in. And now we're going to travel back to Queen's Garden. Queen's Garden. Nope, sorry. Queen's Station. Jeez. Let's name them all the same thing, huh, game? Queen's Station. Sorry. And we're gonna head up into Fog Canyon now. So rest at that bench. And then head over to the Fog Canyon. will be a good time to farm the jellyfish if you haven't already done so. Haha, I got you to kill your friend. So I'm just heading all the way to the top right here. Right here. So we are, let's see, going in here. And we're going to get a trophy here for buying all of the maps. So through the shade gate. Okay. Haha. It's very satisfying to throw them into the water. Hello, Cornifer. Alright, so this will give you the last map for our trophy, Fog Canyon. You should now have the full map here. It should look like this at the moment. So if you have all of those maps bought from Cornifer, you will pop the map trophy. So congrats, everybody. You did it. Alright, now we're heading back to... You might recognize the path when we pop out here. It's where we actually took a shortcut earlier. You don't really have to kill these guys, by the way. It's just get them out of your way. Or you can just go under them. It doesn't really matter. So now we are back. If you remember, we took this up to Forgotten Crossroads. And then we're going to head into there in just a moment. But first... there is a secret room up here. Whoa. Thought I had to break the door. I forgot it just falls through. Good, good, good. Glad I lost everything. Okay, drop down. Be careful of that guy. And then, whoops. Goodness me. I'm horrible. Alright, right here. It's a relic. Hollowness seal. Alright, now we're going to go get ourselves a very valuable item. So head to the left here. Watch out for that. This egg right to the right of me. Those are explosive. Oh, well, that kind of worked out, actually. You don't have to kill these guys if you don't want. I just like to kill everything. But, you know, feel free to just get whatever's necessary. So, let's see. I'm going to blast. So actually going down right there is the shortcut, but you'll see how many eggs there are, so it's not really worth it in my opinion. A little tricky here. Cool. I think we're gonna make it. Alright, guys. It's a charm notch. Ow. 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 I nearly died right there. Alright. So charm notch is huge. That is going to give us a lot of options here. We're not even done with the charm stuff. Alright, so now we're going to drop all the way to the bottom. Go to the bottom left here. And this will complete the, like where that teacher's archive is. This is the final of the dreamers. So that's what we're doing now. Hang on. No, I was right. I knew I was thinking right. I just gotta... Maybe it is the next room. Yeah, no, it is the next. I'm just being an idiot, guys. I'm sorry. It was right in front of me. If it was a snake, or I guess in this case, if it was a grub, it would have bit me. But anywho, there's the last grub of the entire game. And then there's also a shortcut right here. So go ahead and open that up. This takes us back to our main path. So that's pretty cool. That heads back to Queen's Station. But more importantly, we have Quirrel here. This is very important to speak to him. This sets up his final section, but also it gets you aid in the boss fight. So make sure you get the line where he says, "Dare I head in?" I think he will. I think he will dare. Now up here is our bench, kind of hidden. And I'm going to throw on, shoot, I guess just, you know, whatever I can here. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to really need Sharp Shadow. So I'm going to throw on Shaman Stone because then our spells are a little bit stronger. So feel free to leave on whatever loadout you want at this point. But this boss, I can do a little bit more damage now with the spells. I'll be changing my loadout frequently throughout the playthrough here. Just depending on what we're doing. There's not really a wrong way to go in this next area, by the way. There are some hidden lore, which I will point out, but for the most part, there's only a couple items that you like need. So I'm gonna head to the right first. Whatever. So there's some lore here. Somebody's got the caps lock on. All right, this just takes us back around. So, you know, feel free to kill if you need the journal entries. Now we're going to head down here where the next path we want to go on is... So those are blocked. We got to beat the boss first. Now, he's immune until we break his outer shell. So just run away, and he'll summon lightning after you, so just kind of outrun it. And Quirrel should come in eventually. So on this attack, it's either like all of them, like you can see where it is, or it chases you. All right, there's Quirrel. So as soon as he breaks the shell, you want to be ready to go. And then once he does it again, we'll be able to hit him with our spells and stuff. Hey, buddy. Why don't you, Alright, that was a good hit. And there we go. That will get you the Uumuu enemy. Lovely. All right. Let me just catch up here. All right, so we need to get the charged Lumafly or Lumafly, whatever you call it. Those blue guys right there. We need to pick those up real quick. Oops. So that'll unlock the charged Lumafly journal entry. So that's very important. And then some more lore right there. Still haven't figured out the caps lock, I see. And then I want to say there's even more lore over here. Yes, right there. All right, so, and then this just goes back up to where we were at the boss fight. All right, cool. Everybody's on the same page. Now let's go up to the middle. Again, the most important things really are the Lumaflies and, you know, obviously beating the boss and speaking to Quirrel and all of that. Alright, so just interact with it until Quirrel shows up, and then you can talk to Quirrel. And this is important too, because this is what sets up his final section, and that would be a trophy on Steam as well. But for us, we will definitely do it. So exhaust all of the dialogue with Quirrel before you dream nail this. And when you're ready, you can dream nail. And this will take us into the final dreamer. And one of the more difficult boss fights of this game. So get ready. You guys want to put on your charms. Make sure you really lock in for this, guys. Fuck, how am I doing this? Flawless? Oh my god, flawless. Alright, now we're gonna suck the soul out of her. Give her a good suck, you know? Jesus. Anyways, that's the last streamer. That will open up the final boss. We done did it, everybody. Man, that suck gave us, it wore us out. Alright, so now speak to Quirrel again. And he should say this, where I begin to feel my age with my deed complete, blah, blah, blah. That's how you know you've done it correctly. Just gonna head up to the bench and exit, and then we're gonna head back to Forgotten Crossroads, where, you know, where we the same way we did before. All right, there we go. Not a very difficult area, honestly. It's kind of just, it's a cool area. I like the design of it. It's a cool spot. Let's see. It's actually, yeah, it's faster for us to go this way than it would to go to Queen Station and travel and all that crap. So I'm just going to run this way. not worrying about killing anything. How is it that I can flawlessly jump these whenever I'm not trying to do something, and then the second I want to pick up an item or something, it's like my whole brain shorts out. All right, if you're wondering, we took the path that went from the teacher's archives there. We just went straight up that right side, and now we're in the Forgotten Crossroads. So that is where we're at. We have done this path before, so I figured you'd probably remember it. All right, so let's see. Yeah, I want to go to the right first really quick. That'll be faster for us to do it that way. So head to the right. You probably remember this from our delivery run. So head over here. And where we normally went up to get to the fungal area, we want to go down. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Go around and then go down. So if you remember, like, we did the delivery run, we came down this way, and we just dropped down. But now we want to go to the right, actually, now that we have time to worry about other things. And you might remember this platform shaking, but now we can do our Desolate Dive and pick up some Gome lore. Now that's going to unlock Gome in the journal, which is one of the required Hunter Journal marks, and also some free geos. I know that's what you guys are really worried about, now that we've bought everything in the game. Except for one item. There is one item left. I guess on that note, while we're, talking shop here, as far as items to buy, we do have the one item, as I mentioned. And then from, I guess, like, in terms of other items you could spend money on, there's the upgradable charms, the unbreakable ones. You could always, these guys, the Fragile Greed, Fragile Heart, and we did the Unbreakable Strength. You can always go to that NPC and buy the upgraded versions if you want. Like, this one's really good for farming geos, so I would make it stronger. Obviously, it costs a lot of money, but if you get it, then you'll get more geos from then on. And then the Heart's always a good one because you have more health. So those are good if you plan on doing, like... There's some items I'll go over at the very end of the game that are definitely not required. I won't be doing it, but I will mention them. It's more for, like, the person who's already done with everything and they just want to farm the hell out of it. There's like the Hall of the Gods, and you can get certain items by beating every single boss, like, in its upgraded state. So you might want those charms eventually, just because it's nice to have extra health. So I'll go over all that as we get there, but just in terms of buying it, feel free to be working on those upgrades if you want, because our character, as far as, like, our journey, we only have to buy the final item, so it's not like we have a ton of purchases coming up. All right, now we're gonna turn in our grub here and get the last trophy for the trophy for the grubs. You'll know you've done it right when the last item you get will be the Grubberfly's Elegy, and this is our charm that we were missing. So Grubberfly's Elegy, that will be your indication that you've gotten every grub. Also, don't forget that if you are missing one, you picked up in the Tower of Love, we picked up the collector's map, and that would mark any grub on the map. So if you're missing one, just scan through and figure out where it is that you missed one. But if you get the Grubberfly, you know you've done it correctly, and that will pop the trophy for grubs. So that's exciting. Say goodbye to the grubs. So now we are heading to... Whoops. All right, go ahead and do that. That will finish out, excitingly, our map will be fully filled in now. Every spot, every room, it's all complete, minus the like in-game areas. But from here, you could, if you needed money to like upgrade those charms, if you were feeling like it. Don't forget that we have the relics. You could always turn in those if you want. If you were looking to upgrade these charms here, I am not. We have every charm minus, we still have one more half, the King's Soul here, and then that upgrades to the Void Idol, or excuse me, the Void Heart. So we can't get one of the trophies is to get all the charms and then get the blessing from the NPC. We can't do that yet, even though technically we do have all the charms. We're still missing the other half. So that if you're wondering why we can't get that, if you go to that shop, that's why. You don't have that. And the only way to get the other half is to watch my next chapter in the walkthrough. That is the only way. So we are heading to a stag. Whoops. We're gonna go back up the well. Actually, we're heading to a stag station, not the well. And we're gonna go to the resting grounds. So again, at this point, you could turn in your relics if you wanted a bunch of geo. I'm gonna wait until I buy that last item, and then I'll turn in all my stuff, because we still have one more relic to get. So I'm just going to wait till I've picked up all the relics, which will be... We'll do it in the next chapter, but it won't be until the start of the chapter after that we actually go and do anything with that. So feel free to just hoard your geos for now. You can't really lose them, like from this point forward. Like anything that we're doing doesn't really cost you... Your soul's not going to be like lost, really, because it's like all dream state. So we're heading to the lake, if you remember where that's at. It's just straight down here. And now our buddy Quirrel should be here. Look at him, being all peaceful. Gosh. Let's go murder him. Hey. You feel at peace. That's really good. I'm so happy for you. It is beautiful. It is beautiful. You know, some would say, I think it was Absoulem at the start of the chapter, that lakes reflect beauty in the world, and that a still mind reflects something. I don't remember what I said. Anyways, that's a quote I like. Incredible. It is. How about I sit with you and murder you? Okay, that's enough sitting. Now he's gonna die, not by our hand. Okay, thank God. We sit with them, we enjoy the lake, and he's gonna forget how to swim. All right. So let's just leave him to his own devices. But that would pop a trophy for sharing a nice tender moment with Quirrel, which will wrap up his storyline. But that's only on Steam that trophy exists. For us on the console, us peasants, I suppose Team Cherry just didn't think we could handle that trophy. I don't know why. Like, I understand why they don't do the speedrun trophies and maybe like the Steel Soul trophy, but there's a lot of trophies that Steam has that like absolutely should be on console. I don't know why it's left off, but you know, hey, whatever. Like all the bosses, there's trophies for beating all the bosses, which we would do anyways. So why not just put those trophies on our game? And then trophies like that, like why don't we have the Nail Master one? Why don't we have that one? Like, I just don't get that. It's so weird. All right, we're heading to King's Station now. And you might remember our buddy, the Dung Defender. Well, we're going to go fight his better half. He's like Gandalf in this game. Like, he starts off the normal version, but then when we kill him, he gets upgraded into the white version. So, we're going to go fight Gandalf the White here. Watch this. I'm going to time it. Oh, let's look at us. So drop down. If you haven't broken this, you would just desolate dive here. And then there's also that relic that you could pick up right here if you haven't accessed this area. But come in here. My boy's sleeping. So we're going to dream nail him. Oh my god, we're in the path of pain. Just kidding. Not yet. Not yet. This is a cool arena, though. Especially like the background with the statues that he was carving out of shit. I think it's cool that they're... So this fight is exactly the same, just more health, faster, and he has a wave, an attack wave that he does. Otherwise, same exact thing. And we can just sharp shadow through the attack. Oh, that attack right there. You can just sharp shadow through it. Just like so. I know I didn't get the first couple, but... Oh. I gotta be a little bit careful here. This is basically the halfway point when he starts doing this. Oh. Dude, he always is exactly where I'm standing. There we go. It's not easy, but it's definitely not like a super big challenge. We've had more difficult bosses. If you're really struggling, you could put on the quick focus mixed with the lifeblood heart and just have a bunch of health, and then maybe throw on like shaman stone or something. You could also throw on quick slash and do what we did for the upgraded knight and just rapid hit him. So because of our ability to have all these different charms, there's just a bunch of options there. But now we've broken 3150 in essence, so we are just making a mockery of those trophies. And now we're done with that. And so from here, we're going to head to the left. We're going to open up a secret area for later. Just kind of, since we're here, I figured I might as well open it up. Get the journals done. That way when it's time to do this area, we can just, you know, skip a lot of it. So we're just heading to that bench, if you remember. If you're really confident in your skills, you don't have to rest here. That way, when you're done with it all, you could save and quit back to King's Station. If you're a little worried about your health, then go ahead and rest here. So I'll go ahead and rest here just in case. But drop down here, head down to the hole. And then we're going to head over to the left. Oh my god. Okay. All right. That scared me a little bit. But yeah, instead of going down like we did for the secret boss that's down there, there is this area up above. And this is going to be the home to one of our last journal entries that we need for the Hunter's journal there. Doesn't tell me exactly, but I'll go over that. We will get the completion checkpoint this chapter. So don't worry about that. But you want to get that guy right there, the Fluke Munga. So we need 7 more of them. Feel free to farm them now or farm them when we come back to this area. Like, don't worry, you will definitely get it. So this is part of the DLCs that they added. They added this area. There we go. Oh, I thought I could outrun him. They're more difficult, or more strong than I remembered. No way! I killed him too? Oh my god. I'm gonna edit back. Alright, made it back. My soul desolate dived me? That's crazy. Dude, what is this guy, the final boss? Man. I didn't think I would have to try that hard on that guy. He clearly is the final foe in my book. Anyways, come over here, but first of all, there is a item in the bottom left corner of this area, though. So let's quickly grab that. Plus, you can knock this floor out. Be careful, though, if you're like me and at 1 HP, there is one of those guys. But grab the geos. Alright. At least heal one more time, so I'm not a complete failure here. So with that floor broken up, go all the way up, and then we're going to the top left corner. And we technically don't need to go in this room just yet, because this is what we'll do later, but I figured I would at least show it, so you know what I mean when I say the junk pit. So this is the junk pit. Really cool background if you pay attention, like how deep it's actually designed. Pretty cool. But this is how you access the pantheons. So do not actually interact with this because there's different endings and they require us doing different things with this. So don't just like open it and start whatever, because we need to do the endings in a very specific order. So don't mess with this. All right? So just leave it alone. But more importantly, you can come over here and open up some chests. Butterflies. Not a lot of loot there, if I'm being honest. But yeah, that's how we get to the pantheons. That is the junk pit. And you know, now that we have it opened, we can basically just farm those enemies if you want with the journal entry. The big worm guys, but they are required for the hunter's mark. It's one of the few enemies. Now you can go up this way, and that goes to a different direction back to a previous area, but we want to go here. So I'm just gonna save and quit back to our bench. Oh, okay. All right, well, fair enough. Guess we can get that chest as well. That's cool. Guess we can't save and quit. Sick. Guess we'll take it the old-fashioned way. It's weird. Why did I... maybe it didn't work in my practice. It's weird. I think in my practice runs, I was able to save and quit, so I wonder what changed. My game's like, I saw how you performed with that other enemy. Want to be out of this area entirely. All right, that is the last room in terms of the map goes. We're heading back to the Dung Defender. If you don't remember how to go there, just go all the way to the right on whatever. It doesn't matter which direction you take, just go to the right as much as you can, and then it's like the up path instead of the bottom right path. All right, so now we're heading back to just a stag station so we can get back to Dirtmouth. Feel free to turn in your relics at this point too. I don't really know why you would, but in case you're itching for something to do in terms of geos, you know, maybe you want to buy the charms or something, I guess, the upgrades, then you are right here for the relics, so feel free to do that. As far as farming the journals, you can definitely be doing that in between chapters if you want, but don't worry about it too much because we're not needing that just yet. I will absolutely like point out when I'm gonna farm all the rest of them. Usually by the end of the game anyways, you'll be, for the most part, done with the journal entries. I think in my practice run, I'm at like 137 of 153 completed. So it's not like it's going to take that long to farm at the end. But yeah, now we're heading to Dirtmouth. He's still going on with his principles of life. Poor Mildred, or whatever her name was. She's been doing her absolute best to just listen to him go on about his 53 principles. Alright, so the Temple of the Black Egg is now lit up and all the masks are dissolved. So now we can access this area. So head in. This is the final boss of the game. Very bizarre area. We entered the upside down world, I guess. But just keep heading over here and interact with this lore here. This is going to give us the ability to track our progress in game. So you'll see now in the bottom right corner, it tells us our completion percentage. And if you've done everything correctly, you should be at 106%. If you are not there, don't worry so much. You can always farm out whatever. And when we get to the chapter, which not this chapter, not the next chapter, but the next one, that is going to be the final like point of no return when it comes to like farming the enemies, farming all the completion stuff, getting any of the abilities, whatnot. So if you're off right now, don't freak out too much. Feel free to look up what you might be missing. But if you've been following along, you should be at 106. If not, just hold out for another couple chapters, and then we'll go over our checklist of everything, and you can kind of go from there and see what you might have missed or something. But for anyone that's been following along like a good little boy or girl, you should be at 106. So that's cool. Also, we can track our enemies now. You'll see I've encountered 155 or 152 out of 155, completed 122. So we're doing good. Definitely have a lot. Now, not all of these are going to be required for the Hunter's Mark. There's only 143, but technically 146 for the Hunter's Mark. And then there's 164, I believe, off the top of my head, of like total enemies. So definitely not all of them are going to be required, but I will go over all of that, like I said, in 2 more chapters. So don't freak out too much. But what you do want to do right now, if you are worried about it, feel free to make a actual hard backup save at this point, because now we're going to start the endings. So what we're going to do is beat the very normal ending of the game. And then when we load back in, just like in Silksong, you can just load back in and it puts you right here at the bench and you can do all the other endings. But if for some reason you're paranoid or you don't want to mess it up or whatever, feel free to make a hard backup save at this point. That way, no matter what happens, you can load back to the point before you started doing all the endings, okay? Because these endings, there's like 6 endings, and we need to do them in a specific order to be able to get all of the different endings. So just if you're worried about it, just make a backup save. Don't say I didn't warn you, all right? But, it's not required either. Because like I said, if you do it the way I do it, then you'll be able to just load back in at the bench every time. So now let's go over the loadout. I am going to, let's figure out what we're doing here. We're doing strength for sure. Definitely soul. Definitely soul. I'm also going to go with sharp shadow. And then I definitely want thorns. And then I think I'm going to go with quick slash. Yeah. I want to do a lot of damage and fast. All right, so there we go. Now we're just going to go beat the game. All right, guys, let's just go beat the game. Surprisingly, the final boss is not a very difficult boss, in my opinion. Now, partly because it's not actually the final boss. It's kind of like Grandmother Silk, okay? It's kind of exactly like Grandmother Silk, actually, where she was not the final boss, but she kind of is. So, whatever. It's more like the first Sinner boss, to be honest, from Silksong. But with Quick Slash and all of our stuff, you should be just fine. So for this ending, we're just killing him normally, and then we'll bind at the end to be able to kill him. Oops, you missed. Oh, I timed it wrong. I'm just sharp shadowing through him. Oops. Anytime he's about to do anything, I just sharp shadow. Oh, did I stun you? You big boy? Oh, you missed again. Oh, he's pissed. You can stab yourself all you want. You're not proving anything. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh shit. Nearly died right there. Yeah, so he's not hard. You see how easy that was. And now we're just gonna bind and give him a nice suck as well. Just share our talents. And this time we're gonna basically suck in the entire universe and become corrupted. Alright, I will skip the cutscene in case you guys are wanting to enjoy that, but this is the, normal ending for the game. Alright, so once you get through all the credits and all of that crap, it should get you to this screen here. You'll see your completion time, your percentage, and all of that. This will also open up, or unlock one of the trophies that's just like beating the game. There is a trophy for just completing the game. So you should get that trophy as well. That's not the same trophy as the 110 or 112% completion. It's not the platinum completion. That is a different trophy. But for just beating the game, you should get a trophy as well. So that one should unlock right there. But yeah, now that we have beaten the first of many endings, it is time to load back in on our previous save file. So just load back up. And now we can keep pressing on for our 112 completion, but also for all the other endings. So, you know, as far as like completion, I'm showing every ending. As far as the platinum, you really only need to do the first ending, that one that we just did, and then also the very last one that I'll show, the delicate flower ending. That one and the other one are the only two that are like, I guess, required. However, for sake of completion, you know, obviously if you're like me, you're going to want to experience all the different things. And to be honest, it doesn't take but like 15 extra minutes to get all the other endings. So it's not like it's some like crazy process that you have to go through to get the other ones. So I'm going to show all of them. But yeah, that is the first normal ending. And now what we're going to do is we are going to travel to a stag station. Because we can't do the other endings until we get a certain item. And that certain item is proving ourselves on the path of pain. We've delayed it long enough. Buddy, I killed the enemy. I killed the final boss, and you're still over here talking about how cool you are? Bruh. All right, hidden stations where we're heading. Hang on, guys, my headset died. It's a first for me, honestly. All right. Never had my headset battery die in the recording. But yeah, make sure you rest at this bench. And yeah, we'll go over loadout later in terms of like what we actually need for the Path of Pain. But from here, we want to head over, and we are going to dream nail our boy right here. And this is going to put us into the White Palace. But in order to get to the White Palace, we need to first beat one of the bosses. So let's just go talk to this guy. Hey, sir. Sir, do you know how to get in? You do? Oh, shit. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, no, okay. Just trying to talk to you. These guys are actually a lot easier if you pogo them. But, you know, they're not, like, super hard. But you need them for the journal, and we only need a handful of them. Those are the King's Mold. So as you see, I only need one more. There's 3 enemies that are in the White Palace that you need. 3 enemies. There's the Wing Mold, the King Mold, and the Royal Retainer, I believe is their name. You will get all of them very easily. So the first one, like I said, we just need one more. But welcome to the White Palace, everybody's favorite place. Now these are the Wing Mold. So all you got to do is break them. If you played Silksong, you'll remember them, but this is where they originated, was in the White Palace. Silksong was a flashback to this area. So just hit these guys. You only need 9 of them, or 10 of them, I guess, in total. So just hit them until you get the journal, and then that will complete that journal. So now we're already done with one of the 3 enemies. We're almost done with the other one, and then the other one we'll get in momentarily. So head to this bench here, and let's see. Yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and... Yeah, I'll go ahead and do it. Whoops. Okay, I guess I just can't land on the... There we go. I was like not able to land on that platform. Alright, so head over here, and we're just heading to the right. Nothing crazy yet. Now there is a soul totem here if you want to top off your soul before a boss fight. Don't forget about that. So peaceful in here. I'm sure nothing will go wrong. And then here's our other king guy. Boom. And now we're done with both of our enemies so far, and we only have one more remaining for this area. So we're just heading up and around. We're going to hit this lever right here. That's like your power. And then break the floor. My God. Okay. Cool. We're just heading back to where we were. And now this elevator is opened. So just head up. And we go to the left here and go up. And then keep going up. And then here's our next enemy, the Royal Retainers. So again, we only need 8 of those. And they're just scattered around. They don't fight back. So just kill all of them. There's more over here. Also, there's the bench. I think there's some, yeah, right there. All right, we did them all. So all the enemies now have been farmed. So that's a very easy one, but I only pointed out because these areas are kind of missable. You know, once we complete this whole area, you're not going to be like, you know, coming back here at all. So you want to just knock out those 3 enemies just right away. And now we're done with the farming. So when you make it to this bench, you are going to rest and you are going to pray to the gods, because from this point forward, welcome to the path of pain, my friends. So we are going to be doing the entire path in the next chapter. I figured I would just make it, that's the only thing we're doing next chapter, okay? It's going to be enough. I don't care if it's an hour or 30 minutes. I don't care. It's enough content for you guys to be stuck on it for probably days. So just, you know, get a good night's sleep. Eat a nice balanced breakfast, and I'll see you guys in the next chapter when we complete the hardest section of any game ever. So hope you guys are enjoying this walkthrough, because my goodness, you're not going to enjoy the next chapter. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, that is going to wrap up today, and we are, I guess, continuing here in the White Palace in the next chapter, and I'll see you then. Bye.